Let's face it, we've been ambushed and attacked by an invisible enemy called coronavirus. It's been an attack on our health. Sadly, tens of thousands of people have lost their lives, hundreds of thousands worldwide. And an attack on our wealth. Businesses are down, jobs are lost, incomes are gone. Tens of millions of jobs in the United States and Canada are now gone that were here just a few weeks ago. This has been an extreme attack on our health, but yes, on our wealth as well. So in the midst of this, we have to ask ourselves, does God really care? And does my church family care? The answer is yes. In addition, are there action steps that you could take right now to improve your financial well-being? The answer is yes. Your church has made available this brief video series to provide you with the tools and the resources to financially deal with this battle. Zig Ziglar once said, "Money's not the most important thing in life, but it's reasonably close to oxygen on the gotta have it scale." We have to have money to exist. Hi, I'm Pete Benson. I'm the founder and co-owner of a financial firm located in the greater Nashville area, Franklin, Tennessee. For the past 20 plus years, that has been my career, and we have been richly blessed. But the first 20 years of my wife and I's marriage was very different financially. Married as teenagers, by the time we were 22 years old, we had 3 children already. And as a college student and as a church planting pastor, we learned to live on very, very little income. Needless to say, we had to learn how to stretch $1. And we learned to live on this, and you can too. We experienced significant stress, yes. Challenges, yes. But we also learned how to get through those, even though money was scarce and money was precious. It was there and then that we learned to live on less. We learned to live on a budget, to track our expenses, to stay out of debt, to live way below our means, and even to pay cash for cars on a very small income. If you are struggling right now, please know this. We've been there, and we've done that too, and we survived. In these videos, I'm going to share with you principles that I know work. They work if you work them. So I hope you'll come alongside with me, listen, take good notes, and most importantly, apply and take action today on these things. So let's get started. Number one, the first thing that I believe that you need to do, and I need to do, and all of us need to do at all times, but right now, we need to pray about our financial challenges and concerns daily. Pray daily. If it's a couple, pray together and pray specifically. Take your needs and your challenges and your stress and your worries to God because He cares. I'm going to ask you a blunt question right now. In the last week, have you spent more time worrying about your finances or more time praying about your finances? You see, I believe that this is not a time for panic. This is not a time for paralysis. It's a time to give in to prayer and production. Matthew 6:26-27 in the Bible. And by the way, did you know the Bible has a lot to say about finances? There's over 2,500 verses in this book to teach you and me about stewardship, finances, money, generosity, how to live on little, how to have a plan. All these things are here. But Matthew 6:26 and 27, it should give you hope today. Here's what it says. Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not more valuable than they? Can anyone by worrying add even a single hour, or might I say, a single dollar to their life? You see, this is a time to pray. Sometimes we have not because we ask not. Again, take your concerns to God and be praying every single day. When you do, it's top of mind. And it's a lot easier to make smart financial decisions when you know you've prayed about them every single day, maybe several times a day, and brought them to God. So that's the first thing. Pray about your financial challenges and concerns daily. And I can't stress that enough, how important it is right now. Also, don't stop giving. If you are a generous person, please continue to be a generous person. I do not believe that the answer to our financial challenges is to withhold from God. No person ever had less because they gave God more. God's economy says, give, and it will be given unto you. So you need to be giving in the midst of this. Now, there are certainly some great action steps that you should take, and be very careful about your money. But don't stop giving. The Bible again says, give, and it will be given unto you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over, will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you. And then Proverbs 11:25, I love this one. It says, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. You see, I believe that God can do a lot more with 90% of my money than I can do with 100% of my money. So keeping and withholding money to God is not the right thing to do in the midst of a storm like this. You need to keep giving. If you do the right thing with the rest of the money, it'll all work out. It did for us. Year after year, decade after decade, when we were making $100 a week, it was hard to part with $10. But God proved himself over and over again that he can do more with the $90 left over than I could with the $100. So again, the question to ask yourself right now is not how much of my money will I give to God, but how much of God's money will I keep for myself? And I believe God will be faithful. So number one, pray daily about this financial crisis and challenge that is out there. And maybe it hasn't hit you really hard yet, but it might in the weeks and months to come. So this is a time to take action. This is a time to implement these principles, and really there's no time not to implement these principles. So number one, pray. Number two, do not stop giving. Number three, treat your family finances like a business. Let's say that a couple in Canada or the United States makes $50,000 a year and they live for 60 years. They've brought in $3 million into their household. Our last name is Benson. So I kind of look at ours like the Benson Family LLC or the Benson Family Incorporated. This is our family business. And income comes into the family business, and then there's outgo, there's expenses. It's the same as a business. Your family, your house, when you drive into your home each day, think of it as a workplace. It's your family financial business. And money comes in and money flows out, and you need to treat it like a business. You need to have a weekly planning meeting and set up a time and a place. If it's a couple or if it's just a single person, you need to set a specific time. Is it early Saturday morning? Is it late Sunday night? Is it Wednesday evening after the kids have gone to bed? But a set time. I know that on Sunday morning, I'm going to be at church or viewing church or whatever. I don't even have to think about that because it's been set for decades and decades. You need a set time to have a planning meeting about your family financial business. And that's why I have some of these props down here today, like a calculator. And I've rolled up my sleeves because this is work. This is planning and tracking every dollar that has come into your family business. And you have a budget. I have one of these under here. You need to have a budget. And so what do you do in your family meeting? You get your budget out, you get your calculator, you get your papers, and then you start working on your business to pay attention to the dollars and cents. You see, I can either worry or I can work. and I choose to work on my family business. It's working smarter. It's investing time and effort. Now, I'm a co-owner of a business right now, and we spend considerable time every week planning the business. You've got to plan. And so you have to take time to sit down at the table like this with your equipment, with your papers, with your budget, with your tracking, with your bills, and do your family business. And you know what? In a time of crisis, you may have to have at least 2 of those a week. Maybe you do one Saturday morning, maybe one Wednesday night, midweek, to kind of keep up with everything. So again, it takes work to win with finances. You are going to know exactly what you need to do to win through this crisis situation when you're done watching these 3 videos. There's going to be 3 different videos, and I'm going to give you action steps that are real, that I know work. If you work them, sadly, most people will not work them. I'm doing this for the few people that will, and I'm hoping that you will be one of those people that will dig your heels in and say, Pete Benson, I'm going to show you, I'm going to be one that will work this. So what is the next thing we have to do after treating our family finances like a business, after praying and after giving to God what we need to give? We need to find the money. I'm going to show you how to find the money. And that's really going to be the rest of this video. And then there's going to be a second one that is just going to be a long list of different ways that I've learned over the years to find the money. And I know that I can help you do it if you're willing to roll up your sleeves, do a little bit of work, put some time and effort in, take some good notes, and do it. So, find the money. What do we need to do? The first thing you need to do is a complete audit of all your income and write it down. Where does all of your income, that monthly check, that weekly check, bi-weekly check, what do you know comes in, and then what's kind of some extra money that might come in, and you write that down. That really doesn't take most families very long. But then more importantly is tracking the outgo of your money. It comes in, it flows out. So what are all the things that outgo? People even say sometimes, I have no idea, Pete, where my money goes. Well, guess what? You can. You just don't want to know. Sometimes we're afraid of what we're going to find. There's a little quote that I'm fond of using. It says, if your outgo exceeds your income, then your upkeep will be your downfall. You need to know what your outgo is, and you need to be able to find the money that's leaking out of your money bucket so that you can get through this. So, the first thing you need to do is do what I did here. And I printed out credit card bills. I do choose to use a credit card because it's paid off every single month. And if you can't pay it off every month, then I hope that you don't in the future use a credit card. But whether it's a credit card and then a bank statement. So this will show where the money goes. And you literally can go down through there and use a highlighter and then write down all of the things that are leaking out money that you have to pay in your finances. So again, this is work, but this is going to find significant dollars, hundreds of dollars, in some cases thousands of dollars, that is going to get you through this. So you need to do a complete audit. Maybe you go back to January, February, March, April, and into May, the last 6 months perhaps, and you evaluate every single expense. So what you need to do is this. The next thing is, once you do that audit, you need a piece of paper like this that has essentials and non-essentials. What do you have to have? You know what I found? A lot of times the things that I felt like were essential, they're really non-essentials. They were wants, they weren't really needs. And so you write down all the things that you have to pay for, and then the things that you just choose to pay for. So do that. So then the second thing is, you need to reduce spending on essential items. Back to this piece of paper again. This essential list, you may not be able to get rid of it, But you can reduce the spending. So that's number 2. After you do the audit, the second thing is you reduce the spending on those essential items. You can shop for more competitive prices, for car insurance, for house. Look for bargains. If you're not accustomed to going to Dollar General and Aldi's here in the United States, or some other discount store, get used to it now. How about mowing your own lawn? Doing your own landscaping? These are essentials. They have to be done, but who are you paying now, and how could they be done more cheaply? What about house cleaning? Do you pay for that? Maybe that could be taken out and do it yourself. Change your shopping habits. Use coupons. We did for years and years and years. And I'll tell you, it saved us hundreds and thousands of dollars. You can reduce your grocery bill. It is an essential item, but how you use that. And think of all the food that is wasted, and think of things that you bring home and put in the freezer, and it sits down at the bottom, and the next thing you throw it out because it got freezer burned and it got wasted. Then think of those lunches at work. You need to cook and pre-prepare and package your lunch for work. Buy non-perishable items in bulk, and again, use coupons and find ways, search for ways to shop for less. You can reduce your transportation costs. If it's a couple and one has lost their job or working from home now, do you even need that second car? Could you sell it? Could you park it? Could you take the insurance off of that and reduce the expense on that? How about rideshare, carpooling? Take a bike. Find another way of transportation. Maybe you take your car a week and a coworker takes their car for a week. There's always ways to cut and lower energy bills. Use thermostat timers. Buy generic food and prescription medications. How about this? Plant a garden. Reduce grooming expenses. When we were in college, it cost $1 or $2, I can't remember, to cut my hair. And we couldn't afford that. So my wife learned how to cut my hair, and she's been cutting it for over 40 years now. She doesn't always love to cut it. I like her to cut it. I think she does well. But it's a way to cut back on expenses. You can reduce or cancel non-essential insurance items. Do a complete audit of all the things you're paying insurance on. You can raise deductibles when possible. You can in-source everything and don't outsource anymore. If you have teenagers, guess what? They can roll up their sleeves and they can pitch in and they can help too. So again, reduce spending on essential items. The next part is reduce or eliminate spending on non-essential items. There are some items that you have to have. They're not necessarily essential, but a lot of those you could get rid of. So this is needs versus wants. I'm talking about your fitness. Could you go running or exercise at your home instead of paying for the gym membership? How about other memberships that you're paying for? Reducing cable. Some of you are paying for TV, for cable, for Hulu, for Amazon Prime, for Disney, and it goes on, Apple TV, and on it goes for all the, and then when you look at these credit card statements, all of a sudden you see that all those things are adding up. Those are non-essential items. You could at least cut back on quite a bit of it. How about the music that you listen to? Pandora, Spotify, and it goes on and on and on. And we forget about, because it's only $5, $10, $7, whatever, and all those things add up. And after a while, we forget that we're even paying for them. We haven't even used them lately. But even if you have, you don't have to. What about phone costs? Phone costs today, people have no idea how much they're paying for apps and all the essentials, or non-essentials, if you will, that go along with having a phone. You can reduce that. Look for inexpensive entertainment options. So again, you've got to go through those non-essential items And there's going to be a lot. As you go through your credit card and you go through your bank statements, you're going to see a lot of non-essential items. It's amazing through a crisis like this how all of a sudden the things that we thought we had to have, we can live without them. People are living without them today, some of your neighbors. So let me go on real quick. Number 4 is stop paying extra on your house or car or credit cards. Just pay the minimum. You don't have to pay extra. Some of you have been paying $100, $200, $300 more on those things. You don't have to pay extra on that. So for now, just stop doing that. And then the next one, number 5, in this first video is, if needed, you even may need to reduce payments on certain expenses. I'm talking about essential expenses, but reducing your payment on that. Now, one very critical thing is you need to make sure that if your mortgage payment is $1,000 a month and you think that right now you can only pay $800, you need to communicate that to the person holding the mortgage. You need to call them, you need to talk to them, you need to tell them that you think that this is a temporary thing, you're going to be giving consistently to it, but you can't give the full amount right now. And maybe that's the same on your car or other expenses. But again, it's very, very important that if you lower or reduce what is an owed amount, the minimum amount that is owed, that you communicate with those people. And there's very few people that won't work with you if you will communicate to them what the situation is and you fully intend to catch back up when things turn around. So again, hopefully this has been helpful for you. You need to take a lot of notes, and if you need to replay this video, do so and write all these things down. But more importantly than anything, pray about your finances, don't stop giving, don't give up hope, continue to find the money and work at it every single day if you have to. Work at your finances and the payoff will be significant. Now, there's 2 more videos to follow. There's going to be a second one that's just a continual long list that I've started to give you here today. It's takeaways that you can put into practice right now, so do not skip that, because there's going to be 1 or 2 or 3 nuggets for you that could make the difference in your finances. Then we're going to talk about things like your 401k, your retirement accounts, and what to do about that. And what about the programs that are available through Canada, the United States, to help people through this situation? We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the silver linings that are there for you to take right now in the midst of this chaos. So make sure that you tune in for video number 2 and video number 3. Again, this is Pete Benson. I hope this has been helpful. It's meant to be practical takeaways to implement right now. So let's go do it.